I wonder, how did you get educated about nutrition in general? Once you started thinking about that and you said, I really got to focus on this, I'm kind of narrowing it down, you're getting on the scent. How did you start to educate yourself, or how did you?
Yeah, that was, I mean, because my background is actually is marketing and intellectual property law. So I don't have like I would say degrees in science and stuff like that. The thing that got me interested in it was just, how my body was being affected by it. And then I became this sponge. So I have like, I guess you could say it's an obsession with learning. Like if I find something that I'm curious about, I can't stop. I cannot stop like, exploring it and reading it and immersing myself into that particular subject until I feel like I'm sort of adequately educated in it. So that's what happened with nutrition. I got into studying nutrition, studying like herbs and how various herbs and adaptogenic compounds can affect the body. And it's still a daily thing for me because now I'm actually a food scientist, and I really I need to know these things, like how sugars react with proteins and how to make things taste delicious. So these are all things that I'm obsessed with, but I didn't go to school for it. I mean, I guess you could say that I went to school, but most of it was sort of autodidactic, like researching on the internet, reading books, and constantly putting things into practice.
What is Ketose Sweet Plus, and how is that
Oh,
beneficial?
that's a really good question. So KetoSweet Plus is actually a sweetener that we developed, and what the major I would say compound that's in it is allulose. And so allulose is a rare sugar that is actually made from from an enzymatic process of introducing a particular bacteria to like a glucose syrup. And then the metabolite, which is basically when you think of a fermentation process, the metabolite is what, I guess, the basic way that you could describe it is the metabolites like the poop that comes from the bacteria. But in this particular case, these bacteria eat the glucose, and what comes out, the metabolite, is going to be allulose. And so allulose exists in nature. It's a saccharide, which means it is a sugar, but your body doesn't metabolize it. And the interesting thing that I find about allulose is that it'll actually lower your blood sugar and increase your ketones. So it's this sort of miraculous sugar that you can have if you're on a keto diet. And so the KetoSweet Plus, it's because allulose is only about 70% of Swedish sugar. So the KetoSweet Plus, we add a little bit of monk fruit extract, which is super sweet, and a little bit of stevia, which is super sweet. And the reason that we combine the monk fruit and the stevia is that when you combine them, they have these masking properties that mask off each of their off notes, because some people are like, oh, I don't like stevia, it tastes like licorice. And other people are like, oh, I don't like monk fruit because it tastes like, it's reminiscent of like a melon rind, and I don't like it. But when you combine the two, they really mask those off, and it gives it a sort of a neutral flavor. So the KetoSweet Plus is just neutral and sweet, and you can add it to any beverage, smoothies, anything.